Today we are showcasing a beautiful old church in the pilot episode of our new series entitled Religious Decline. In the series we will be looking at vacant religious structures and how they represent the widespread demise of Christianity in the UK.
Christianity's central place in British culture is looking increasingly under threat.
On the outer region of a small town lies this crumbling house of God. The tall spire rises above the forest it was built within, and you can see it from miles around. Where at one time the church's congregation would have walked up these stone stairs, now they are overgrown and clearly unused. Before entering the main attraction, we take a look inside a small separated building where Sunday school would have took place. A disgusting smell fills the air and there are needles on the floor. The only point of interest are these two grand pianos, which weren't even in a bad condition. Not enjoying ourselves in the little hall, we headed out to see the ruined grandeur that sat in a sorry state right next to us. The church was established in the 1860s at a celebratory service which many important religious people of the period were present at. At a whopping £10,000, which was a massive sum of money back then, the building was constructed in the notoriously Gothic style that many churches in England are designed in. Some of the building's details are unrecognisable due to its abandoned state, as we were about to see for ourselves. The massive room was still stunning, with marble pillars leading up to immense stone arches. There was a lot of damage across the floor, which we believe to have occurred due to scrappers, who have took all of the floor tiles for their material profit. Fading slightly above the altar was a Bible quote which many members of the public must have read when they endured a sermon. Surprisingly, most of the pews were still intact, which we didn't expect. However, on the other hand, we did expect the stained glass to be still visible, and most of it wasn't. It appeared that the property had been freshly boarded, which makes sense as the surrounding public have been complaining about horrible vandalism that has occurred internally on the House of God. Hello? This exploration was actually my first ever solo outing, and I was shocked when a loud voice suddenly called out "Police" into the church. You alright? I'm just taking pictures. I'm not going to kill you. It turned out to just be some locals who ended up coming inside to explore with me. We immediately moved upstairs to the balcony where you get a better overview of the hall. The large window here actually has some stained glass that remains, but as you can see it has been shredded by vandals. Each individual panel has a religious picture on it, but some of them have been lost completely as rocks pass through the colourful spectrum. Behind the altar the walls are filled with Bible readings carved onto the stone magnificently. We are some of the first to visit this abandoned site in a few years, and we believe this is partly because it simply isn't as good as it was a few years prior. As you can see from these shots, the church used to be filled with colour, with a royal themed red carpet intertwining the aisles. None of the windows were boarded up and no vandals have caught whiff of the property. It It just shows the difference security defences make on a structure like this. This historic building has been neglected, and this is the sad outcome of that. Although there are many artefacts inside that deserve to be saved, a highlight of the church's period of abandonment is that its famous bells were saved a couple years ago. We think it's possible to renovate the building, as the actual structure isn't too unsafe as of yet. However, whether that happens we don't know. We can only hope the structure is preserved in some fashion. Thanks for watching the pilot episode of our new series. If you enjoyed it, leave a like on the video to show your support, as we have visited more of the religious buildings and have more to share with you in the upcoming future.